welcome again to my channel Study Library, and this time we are going to discuss the second chapter of Honeysuckle, that is how the dog found himself a new master. So let's start. Here, before you read, you may know that the dog and the wolf are closely related. You may also know something about how over the centuries human beings have domesticated and tamed wild animals. Here it says that you must know that the dog and the wolf are very closely related, and you may also know that over the centuries human beings have domesticated and tamed wild animals. Here's the story about how the dog became a tame animal or a domesticated animal. So let's start reading. Here it says that dogs were once their own masters and lived the way the wolves do, in freedom, until a dog was born who way of his life. Here it says that the dogs were the ones their own masters and lived the way their wolves do, in freedom. So they lived like wild animals, but until the time came then that a dog was born who was ill-pleased. Ill-pleased means an old-fashioned way of saying nat. So until a dog was born who was very with his way of life. He was sick and tired by himself, looking for food and being frightened then of those who were stronger than he. He was sick and tired of wandering about by himself, for looking for food by himself and being frightened of the ones who were stronger than him. He thought it over and decided that the best thing for him to do was to become the servant of one who was stronger than anyone on earth. He thought it over and decided that the best thing for him was to become the servant of one who was stronger than anyone on the earth. And he set out to find such a master who was stronger than anyone on the earth. He walked and walked until he met a kinsman of his. Kinsman, here this word means old-fashioned word saying a relative. Here it means that kinsman means an old-fashioned word for a relative. A big wolf who was as strong as he was fierce. Here you may also mark the word fierce, that means violent, frightening. And he saw a big wolf who was as strong as he was as fierce. "Where are you, dog?" the wolf asked. "I'm looking for someone to take up service with. Would you like to be my master, wolf?" Then the wolf asked that, "Where are you going, dog?" Then he said that, "I am looking for someone to take up service with. Would you like to be my master?" He asked. Then he said, "I don't see why not," the wolf said. And then the wolf said that, "I don't see why cannot be the master of you." And the wolf said, and this agreed upon, and the two of them went on together. They walked, and all of a sudden the wolf lifted his nose and sniffed, darted quickly off the path and into the bushes and crept deeper into the forest. You can mark this word. Darted, that means moved quickly or suddenly. Here said the dog was very surprised. He said that, "What's come over you, master? And what has frightened you so? Or what are you so frightened of? Can't you see there's a bear out there, and he might eat up both of us, you and me?" He said that there's a bear out there and he might eat up both of us, you and me. Seeing that the bear was stronger than the wolf, the dog decided to take up service with him. And he left the wolf and asked the bear to be his master. Seeing that the bear was stronger than the wolf, the dog decided to take up service with the bear, and he left the wolf and asked the bear to be his master. The bear agreed to this readily and said, the bear agreed to that agreement readily and said that, "Let us go and find a herd of cows. I'll kill out and then eat our fill." And then it said that Let us go and find a herd of cows. I'll kill a cow and then we can both eat our fill. They walked on and soon saw a herd of cows. But just as they were about to come up to it, they were stopped by a terrible noise. And just as they had come up with, they were stopped by a very terrible noise. The cows were moaning loudly and running in a panic in all directions. And as they were about to just come up to it, they were stopped by a very terrible noise. The cows were moaning loudly and running in a panic in all directions. The bear looked out from behind a tree and then he too ran hastily deeper into the forest. The bear looked out from behind a tree and then he too ran hastily deeper into the forest. "Now why did I have to come here?" said he to the dog. "It is the lion who rules the forest in this part." And then the bear said that, "Why did I have to come here? It is the lion who rules the forest in these parts." "The lion? Who's he? Don't you know he is the strongest beast on earth?" Then the dog asked that, "Who is the lion?" Then the beast said that, "Don't you know that he is the strongest beast on the earth?" And then the dog said that, "Well then, I say goodbye to you, bear. I want a master who is stronger than anyone on the earth." And off the dog went to ask the lion to be his master. And then the lion agreed to it, and the dog stayed with him and served him for a long, long time. And the lion agreed the agreement, and the dog stayed with him for a long and served him for a very long time. It was a good life, and the dog had nothing to complain of, for there was no stronger beast in the forest than the lion, and no one dared touch the dog or offend him in any way. Here are this word dared. Dare, that means to be brave enough to do something. But one day the two of them were walking side by side along a path that ran amid bare cliffs, when all of a sudden the lion stopped. And they said that one day the two of them were walking side by side along a path that ran among bare cliffs, when all of a sudden the lion stopped. He gave a great roar and struck the ground angrily with his paw with such force that a hole formed there. And then he gave a very great roar and struck the ground angrily with his paw with such force that a hole formed there. Here you can mark this word cliff. Cliff, that means a steep, high rock, often at the edge of a sea. "What is it, master? Is anything wrong?" asked the dog, surprised. I smell a man coming this way," the lion said. "We had better run for it or we'll be in trouble." And then the lion said that I smell a man coming this way, and said that we'd better run or we will be in trouble. Well then, I'll say goodbye to you, lion. I want a master who is the strongest on the earth." And off the dog went to join the man, and he stayed with him and served him faithfully. And off the dog went to join the man, and he stayed with him and served him very faithfully, with all his faith. This happened very long time ago, but to this day the dog is the man's most loyal servant and knows no other master. And from this day, the dog was the man's most loyal servant and knows no other master than the man. So, the story is over, and we'll meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye.